Yeah, that's
Anyways.
why I like looking at waveforms when I record things, because then you know when something breaks, especially using Pro Tools. Pro Tools will not
Fuck Pro Tools.
Pro Tools will not like break and then try to keep going. If Pro Tools breaks, it's just like stop, fix it. Okay, like Pro Tools will not accept any recording errors. Logic will like crackle and then keep going.
Right. Ableton is actually like all the way in the other direction. They're like, your computer could literally be on fire and we will not stop playback.
Yeah. Because it's an instrument. It's for live.
Exactly.
It's a live instrument.
Like, I've literally, like, my whole computer has frozen and Ableton has still been playing back. And I'm like, I don't have a means to stop you from playing back.
Yeah.
But you're still going.
I have a friend that I get in lots of political fights with, and he always makes fun of me for being annoyingly moderate. And this conversation about how Pro Tools does it one way and Ableton does it the opposite way, and I love Pro Tools because it's in the middle, is going to crack him up. But
no, I hate Pro Tools. Okay, but anyways, we're recording on Pro Tools right now. Pro Tools 11.
This podcast is sponsored by Pro Tools.
Please, I mean,
love to have you on the show, Avid.
Yeah, Mr. Avid. Mr. John Avid.
I'm sure. Well, technically, when it was founded, it was Digidesign, so it's Mr. John Mr. Digidesign.
Yeah. It's
Digi first name, design.
Oh name. Yeah.
Almost it's like a comma.
Anyways,
Mr. DD.
We were talking about education. Well, do you want me to convince you not to get a master's degree?
I want you to convince me not. So I kind of halfway jokingly asked you to convince me not to get a degree in music composition.
Okay.
Is there a bachelor's degree in music composition?
Not
at UCO.
At UCO. I remember talking to Patrick about this for a little bit, and I kind of agree with him. I think that composers need to get a musical understanding first.
Yeah.
It's the usual principle of like, you got to learn the rules before you learn to break them. And so I think getting a bachelor's in some sort of performance or music education, or what I did was production, but I had also had a background in music education.
Yeah.
And so I'd already had all my theory and stuff. I think OCU has an undergrad in composition, but nobody can afford that anyways. So
yeah. I don't know. I guess I was kind of saying earlier, like, I want to get a bachelor's degree. I'm almost done. I was almost done with an associate's whenever I dropped out for. I always tell people it's for financial reasons. It's for financial reasons as a result of academic reasons. But but I would have kept chugging along and doing more and more poorly had UCO not been like, dude, you need to stop. So, and that's a whole other discussion.
That's okay.
I'm going back and I'm excited, and I think I'm going to do a lot better as an adult who knows how to be an adult.
Yes.
But anyway,
that's a whole other.
That is a whole other thing. But I want to go back and I want to get a bachelor's, and I was saying that the reason for that was kind of because I value education, kind of for its own sake, and I think I wish that was more a part of the conversation around education than it is. You know, like, I think being an educated person is valuable. Yeah. In and of itself. And I think having an educated society is valuable in and of itself. And
should it cost $100,000?
No.
To do it, though?
No.
Right.
No.
So why? So do you want to get a music degree? That's a even harder thing.
So that's kind of the thing, is like, I don't.
You're good.
Things to step on. I don't particularly care what I'd get a degree in, because I think that there's a certain amount of things that for any liberal arts degree, using the term liberal arts broadly and literally
Liberally.
for what it actually means. Like every degree that UCO has as a liberal arts degree, you're going to learn things besides your specific discipline.
Sure.
Right? So any liberal arts degree, I think you're going to learn a well-rounded enough group of things that I would be satisfied with saying I can consider myself a person who knows things about the world, you know, and I can move forward as a productive citizen, knowing things about the world and the country that I live in. And to that end, it doesn't really matter what degree I get. So it's kind of like, what degree do I want to get?
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting enough, and what's going to be, I don't want something that's going to be so difficult that it's going to ruin my life for however many years.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to get a master's. If I got a master's, it'd be because kind of the same thing. There's something in particular that I really just want to learn.
Right.
And right now I don't have anything that I feel like I need to learn to that level.
Yeah. So. I think that as a person with an associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's, technically only one of them is an actual music degree.
Mm-hmm.
I think going to school for music is mostly bullshit.
Yeah.
And I guess that maybe once you get past that, then maybe music school gets more interesting and fun.
Yeah.
But I hate all of academia.
Okay.
As a person,
explain.
As a person that has had this much time in school, college isn't for everyone.
No, I agree.
But I think the way by which we are deciding that people are considered educated is flawed. I did enjoy my master's panel, which basically what happens, or at least for me, what happened is that you get to pick a committee of teachers. One person has to be like your major area instructor, and then two other teachers. And basically, they ask you questions to kind of be like, did Santiago Ramones learn anything in his time here? Generally, like, it's not made to like scare people off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that because it got to be an actual conversation, which so many things in academia don't get to be. A lot of times, not, and even just outside of music, a lot of times it's like there's instructors that are trying to decide if you meet all of the criteria, if you have done all of the things and you did it in the way that we want you to, then we get to decide that you pass. And I don't know, I think that that's just not a good way of determining that someone knows stuff.
Yeah. And I agree with everything that you just said. I think that, I mean, for me, I want to have a degree at the end because it puts me in a better position in the society that I live in to be able to do more things that I might want to do in that society.
That's pretty much why I got a degree.
Yeah. That's why I want to get a degree. That's not why I want to go back to school. If there's a difference, like if there was some other way for me to go about it and be like, yes, I have a degree, I may, I probably wouldn't take it, because the thing that I actually personally want is like, I feel like I went to school and I was not prepared to take advantage of the situation I was in. And I wish that I could start over as an adult.
Yeah.
I wish I could start over at 24 instead of 18.
Sure.
because, and not like I could go back, but I can't start over. Like the instructors that are there who know me as a guy who couldn't manage his time and had a hard time finishing work and had a hard time studying because I never really had to study much in high school. High school's easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah. They want you to pass.
Yeah. And they don't want to see you for another year, not if they can possibly help it. And that's like, I feel like there's already some baggage there. And maybe it's only something that's in my head. Like I feel real weird about the prospect of talking to some of my professors whose class there are a couple of classes I failed multiple times. And I feel really weird about like walking back into one of those classrooms, and that's probably just in my head. I don't know, maybe not, but
no, I mean, and I'm sure you know this from the teacher side, from working at School of Rock, all this time, but like the fact that you really care whenever a student is doing well, and you really care whenever they're not.
School of Rock is a little bit different, only because the students that there is almost a 1-to-1 correlation between students who are being there and students who want to be there. Yeah, like the students who do poorly because they don't want to be there. Right. I feel like school is a little different than that. But.
Right. Well, I guess I'm speaking more generally. Yeah. From just teacher brain. And I think teacher brain is that I'm sure you have this thing, I have this thing, that whenever you watch someone learn and you see the light bulb go off, that is a magical moment. And with that teacher brain, we sort of want that moment to happen as much as possible. Yeah. And whenever it's not, and whenever you know that they're like almost there, and if they just like paid attention or did the work or whatever it might be that they need to do to just do the thing that I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Yeah.
That actually, that's actually, I hadn't really thought of it that way. One of the classes that I just couldn't pass is the only class in my degree that you had to take online. And it's like that interaction doesn't really exist between the student and the teacher at that point. Yeah. So you never see the teacher. Like I've met the teacher. Yeah. Seen him a few times.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Jeff. Yeah. Yeah. I told you I was going to do that. Forget somebody's name. But, I got it. Yeah. But yeah, I could never pass that class. I almost passed it the first time I took it, where it was an in-person regular class. And then after that, it was only offered online.
Which makes it harder.
In my opinion, for me, I'm not going to even say in my opinion. For me personally, it does, for the way that I'm wired and the way that I.
Well, I think that I think unanimously, any psychologist that has studied the way that people learn will know that learning online is
it's harder to learn online. For some people, it's easier to pass a class online.
Sure.
Like it's easier to complete the thing if you can just blaze through the class.
Take all of your basics online and over the summer. Yeah. Like that's a great way to just blaze through a bunch of things that you don't care about.
Not for me. I wouldn't be successful doing that. But that's kind of my man, there was a point like 5 minutes ago. I don't remember what it was. This is going to be the worst podcast you've ever recorded.
That's
going to
true.
Be completely my fault. Anyway, yeah, I want to go back because I want to, I wish I could start over. I would spend tons of time in like professor's office hours, Yeah.
And that's how you do ACM correctly.
ACM in particular. Yeah. And, I could do a bachelor's at ACM, but the bachelor's at ACM is like 60% electives.
Yeah. Like, well, no, it's just like, it's just ACM plus.
Yeah. You just do more ACM, do whatever ACM you want. Yeah. You just have to do X amount of ACM. Yeah. And that sounds like a lot of fun. And that sounds like that could actually be kind of perfect. But
Right. And that's why like I tell people that my bachelor's is in music production because it pretty much is. But it's in like applied technology or whatever it
yeah,
is.
it's a silly.
Or applied science, whatever it means.
It's applied technology. Well, no, the associates is applied technology. Is the bachelor something different?
One of them is applied science and the other is applied technology. Either way, the terminology doesn't matter
No, it
because all I focused on was music production and songwriting.
Yeah.
And basically composition, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why my bachelor's is basically music production.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ACM bachelor's is just like, do more ACM. Go for it.
Honestly, that's probably what I would wind up doing. But
it's great.
I'd entertain the idea of doing something more traditional music school kind of path. And I hadn't realized this about myself until very, very recently, but I am essentially only happy if I'm in a situation where I'm learning lots of new things all the time.
Try the jazz lab.
Like we can talk about my misadventures in learning jazz. But that actually is relevant. And this is a recent revelation about myself to me that makes a ton of things make a lot of sense. It's also why I have a really hard time with retaking classes, because I've done the whole class. I've seen all the work. I've learned the material. I just failed to
show that you know it.
Exactly. in the way that the class wanted me to, you know?
Which is, again, a reason why I don't like the way academia works.
And I get it to some extent. Like, if you are traditionally, what a degree is to prepare you for a job in a field. And if that job in that field very much so is built around like project completion, then having that as a necessary part of the curriculum makes a lot of sense. And to some extent, music works that way. But a lot of the actual work in music is somewhat open-ended in a way.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're like doing a mix where it's like, I have a deadline, I've got to get this mix back to a client. The mix is done when it's done.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm clocking in and out. I'm going to do 6 hours of this mix, and then at 6 hours, the mix is done. Like, the mix might be done in 2 hours. The mix might be done in 12 hours, right?
It might be done in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not if it's for a client, but
right.
If it's taking that long, then there's a problem with the project that you need to talk to your client about.
Right. Well, no, it depends what it is, because like there are.
If it's for your music, then the mix, of course, it takes 6 months.
Yeah.
I spent a year on just mixing my band's first EP.
Yeah.
And I like the way that it sounds. I think I could do better now in 12 hours.
That's
but
always how it's going to be.
That's why it took. This goes back to the learning thing. That's why it took a year, because by the time I'd finished it, I'd learned enough in the process of finishing. I was like, I can do better now, and I would do it again.
Yeah.
And I did that for 12 months before the drummer in my band, Dakota Green, was finally like, dude, it's fine.
Just finish it.
Put it out, because it was a project of me and other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the, I don't know. That's a new thing that I have learned that I have to be learning all the time, or I get miserable and I am so good at a job when I'm learning to do the job. And as soon as I have learned the things that the job can teach me, I become significantly less good at the job. And it's a recent thing that I've learned that I'm realizing applies to everything about me. So, I don't know.
Right. Well, the reason why I recommend jazz is because the learning curve is so steep that it's like you're going to be learning a lot, but it's also just like you have to get good.
So
you have to.
On the topic of like my misadventures in learning jazz is I'm this is, again, I'm just learning all these things about myself. I'm a little picky in terms of learning curves, because the issue with jazz is that you have to learn so much, and more importantly, you have to practice so much before you can actually use any of it. Like, it's all just useless knowledge until you
Until
put
it
in the
clicks,
time
yeah.
and it clicks and you get to a certain level in your knowledge. And I have tried to do that. I know people who have learned that outside of an academic environment. I am not. I also know people who have learned it inside of an academic environment, and how it is not an easy academic path to take. So I actually found a really great guitar player in town who, once things kind of settle out for me, I will be taking lessons from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I don't know, it's something I wish I had jazz chops. And I don't. I can write for jazz, but I don't jazz myself. But the level of knowledge that's necessary to just be able to like do that thing is really cool.
Yeah, the learning curve for jazz is a wall up until a certain point. Like, you have to climb the wall and then get over the wall.
Yeah.
And then, jazz is always the idea of you have to know the rules before you can break them.
Sure.
So you get up to the top of the wall and then you jump off the wall because you can now break all the rules.
Yeah.
And then you're good. It's all roses from there.
Sort
Probably
of.
not. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
The wall is infinitely high.
Oh, I don't know. I think that there is a point where I know I'm not there.
Yeah.
But I know what it looks like because I've seen people who are before that wall, but are getting close.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who are after that wall that they're still going, but again, it's sort of like you're reaching the asymptote of the
exactly.
graph.
I also tend to get really, like I said, I get really disinterested in things once I start reaching that asymptote, and it's like jazz is like nothing, no progress, and then the asymptote.
Right.
So
I mean, just practice.
I know
your scales.
That's why I'm gonna get somebody to teach it to me, because I need somebody who's expecting me to like practice. Otherwise, I won't. Just because there's other things in my life I'd rather be doing. On any given moment in time, there's something I'd rather be doing than practicing.
Yeah. Right. Well, there's this joke in music circles, which is like, "What are you doing? Why are you not practicing?"
Oh, I've seen the flow chart.
Yeah. So I mean, no matter what it is that you are doing, you shouldn't be doing that because you should be practicing.
And it's always like, I want the skill. I feel like I'm willing to put in the work for the skill, but right now I'd rather be doing this other thing.
Yeah, it's scary to jump in. But it's also really funny because people like Victor Wooten, who was at ACM recently, he says things like, "Oh, like, closing yourself off for 8 hours is not good."
And I actually agree a lot.
Yeah. No,
I just haven't. And that's how I've learned everything I know up to this point musically. I just don't know how to apply that to jazz. So that's why I'm getting a teacher, which is kind of that version of the thing.
Yeah.
I'll probably still have to drill some chops, but
sure. But I don't know. I think that there was a different quote from either it was the Van Halen guitarist or the Led Zeppelin guitarist. I can't remember
Eddie Van
which
Halen
one.
Or Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
What's the quote? I can probably tell you.
Well, no, it was something that he said to someone. Basically, like this Italian prince or something took his son to like go see him because he knew them because he was royalty or whatever.
Right.
And he tells the son like, "Hey," like he wants to, or he tells Jimmy Page or Van Halen or whatever, like he wants to learn guitar, and Jimmy Page / Van Halen. They're just the same person now.
Jimmy Van Halen.
Jimmy Van Halen. John Van Halen. Callbacks. Goes, oh, well, if you want to learn guitar, learn flamenco. If you can do flamenco, you can do anything. So he learned flamenco. And Tao Ruspoli is the guy who learned flamenco, and he's a really freaking good flamenco guitarist now. So yeah, and he can basically play anything on guitar at this point. But I think jazz is a similar thing. Yeah. If you are able to get jazz chops down, you can kind of put anything in front of you and maybe not get it, but like, you know, the work it takes to get to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing where I've always been a little standoffish about any skill, musical or otherwise, where it's like learning is only going to get me so far. Yeah. I know, like, I tell students all the time, like, I know how to learn how to do like sweep picking, for example. Yeah. I know how to learn it. And I learned how to learn it. Yeah. And then I looked at the path ahead of me and I was like, nope, not that interested. and so I never learned it. And if a student comes to me like, I want to learn how to sweep pick, I can show them how to practice it and I can show them how to get there, but I can't demonstrate it for them. Yeah. And I had a little bit of that with jazz, but I've decided like a lot of my favorite musicians are people who came into like rock from jazz. Yeah. Yeah. And I've tried to like kind of cop their sound, you know, and integrate it into my own thing, which has kind of been how I've developed as a musician, is like learn a bunch of songs by a person and then you just kind of absorb it into your thing, you know? And I have not been able to do that with any of these guys. And I was like, okay, I need to just learn how to jazz and then integrate it. And that should help. But.
Yeah. But okay. So going back to the initial question, or I guess thing that we were talking about, I think that if you want the knowledge that you would get from doing a composition degree, just get the knowledge. If you want the degree for the reasons that anyone gets a degree, then sure, get the degree. Yeah. Honestly, and this sounds weird from the other side, but I think less than learning all of the knowledge I needed to have a master's degree, it's more that I have all of the knowledge I need to learn to be able to have a master's degree, even though I already have it.
That's like the most valuable thing you're leaving with, is now I know all the things it is required to know to acquire a master's degree.
Basically. Like I have some books on the shelf there. And it's like principles of orchestration and like guidelines for style analysis and stuff like that.
You know how to extract the information from those books, whereas I probably wouldn't.
And I haven't read all of those books.
Of course not.
No. Whoever actually even reads the books that they get from school. Most of the books on my shelf there I haven't read. But they're really nice to have whenever I go, oh, I haven't attacked this yet. I need this information now. Yeah. And that's most of what I got out of the master's degree. It's learning how to obtain the information. Yeah. Because nobody actually has all of that information in their brain. Not even the people who wrote those books. No. Because they researched and stuff and then put it all in one thing.
Yeah. And the things that they integrate aren't really in their conscious mind. It's like they are integrated as skills, basically.
Yeah. And so it's like, can I write a symphony? Maybe not right now, but like, yeah. I don't feel like it yet. Maybe I will at some point. I don't feel like it right now. Yeah. But I know how to. And I know what I need to do to make it happen. Yeah. That's what I got out of the master's degree.
Yeah. I don't. I don't think I need a master's degree
Yeah.
to accomplish the things I want to accomplish. But I may get to a point where I'm like, I have learned the things, and now I want to learn more things. And a master's degree seems like the way to do it. I don't. I don't think so. I think there are better ways for me to learn besides going to get a master's degree.
Right.
But
And so I think that, like, all right, you want to learn how to compose. All right. Start composing.
Mhm.
If you hit a wall, either pick up one of these books or any of the books that anyone else tells you are good for learning composition. Then try that.
Yeah.
And then if you hit another wall, then try a different avenue.
Mhm.
And it's like that's how you learn to be a composer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the process that I went through for the masters. It's just like, hey, you got to compose stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm going to try this. How do I do this?
Yeah.
And then through the process, I learned how to do it. And so that's why I have like a choir piece and an opera and an art song and a brass quintet and a piano solo and some jazz arrangements.
Mhm.
Because I wanted to do them, but I didn't know how to. And then I did them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like, I think if I was ever to really start getting into composition, the only thing that like composing and anything relating to a traditional sense that has ever interested me would be in film scoring.
Yeah.
And I always have kind of had this feeling like, well, I feel like I know the technical, like I know how to use the software and I know how to sync to video and I know how to like mechanically do the thing. I feel like if it was ever put in front of me, like, here, score this short film, kind of feel like I could just do it.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah.
wouldn't turn out as good as it would the second time that I do it,
Right.
but I feel like I could do it and get something out that's like works and is interesting.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how I feel like I would probably learn composition if I
Yeah.
ever had to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If you want to compose, just start composing.
Yeah.
That's really it. You don't have to go to school for it.
Hmm.
It would be nice. Like, it would help you a lot if you learned music theory from its beginning to its modern
Yeah.
thing, which is a lot. I don't know all that I need to know about music theory.
Yeah.
There's some jazz harmonizations that I wish I was a little bit more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted to use them, I could look them up.
My relationship with music theory, I'm in a really weird spot because everyone I know who's a musician falls into one of two camps.
Yeah.
The pro music theory camp or the
non-music theory camp.
Yeah, some of them are like anti-music theory.
Right.
Most of them are just like, yeah, never learned it, don't need it.
Sure.
And I'm like, so I love music theory.
Yeah.
It fascinates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I am constantly learning about it. But it's mainly like, I don't know, it's not a structured academic approach. It's like, I hear something interesting. I'm like, I need to figure out what that sound is.
What is this?
Yeah. And then I'll learn it and I go, okay, that's the thing I know now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so I have all of these random disparate pieces of information that I've learned how to order because I've had to teach it to other people.
Mhm.
But I'm not teaching it in any way that any school would recognize as like, that's a logical way to teach it. Like,
Sure.
there's certain things that people say are like super fundamental to music theory that I just, like, at this point, I understand what the circle of fifths is.
Sure.
I get no use out of it whatsoever. And I've had people who've gone to school like, well, here's why it's useful. I'm like, I know all that stuff. I can do all that
stuff. Get like a mnemonic device for it. That's kind of a big reason as like for the circle of fifths. It just tells you the order of sharps and flats. Kind of. I mean,
but I know the order of sharps and flats. I mean, I know the order of sharps and flats because I know the circle of fifths.
Yeah.
But doesn't help me.
No, not really.
Practical.
Unless you're doing a chord progression that uses fifths. Like
if I'm like trying to write it out on a sheet of paper and
right.
Yeah.
So
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
The song "I Will Survive" uses a fifths progression, or I think it's a fourths progression, but it's the same thing. And so it's A minor, D, which would then be G, then C, then F, then I'm sure it's very fun to listen to me trying to think the fifths backwards, but yeah. But
B flat if
right.
you're going fourths.
Yeah.
But I think after the F, it actually goes. I'm hearing the chord progression right. I think it actually goes to an E after the F.
Yeah, yeah. Because then it's just doing
Resolves
5
back to A.
Back to A. Which is like cool. It's weird because whenever I tried learning the chord progression to I Will Survive, I already knew the circle of fifths.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, that's the fifth. And so the fifth of that is what my next thing is. And the fifth of that is what my next thing is. And that's how I learned it. And so it like helped.
Yeah.
But like that's not how most people would learn a chord progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of the things. There are certain bits of information that in academia are like fundamental music theory that I just kind of skipped over.
That's fine.
And so now if I ever was going to go back to school and have to learn a bunch of music theory, I feel like I may find it a little frustrating because there'd be a bunch of stuff I already know and understand with a bunch of stuff that my brain has just decided is useless.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I know it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Intervals are nice to know because it helps with communication.
I've got those.
Learning to read music is helpful if you're dealing with people that also know how to read music. That's really the only context in which it's necessary.
That's what I think. That's something I'm hoping to get out of learning jazz.
Yeah,
is learning more about being able to sight read. I can write music. I can write sheet music,
mm-hmm.
and I can read it back slowly.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not a very good sight reader either.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I wrote a whole bunch of scores.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to, but I can't play a large amount of the music that I've written, for other people. But I know that it's physically possible for them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. That's another big part of composition.
That actually, I did know.
Is learning
what instruments can do.
Yeah, what they can do. And also what they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one thing that, a trumpet can play above the staff. It's another thing making them play above the staff for the whole piece.
8 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever.
So it's like you can give them that for like a nice touch, and the right trumpet player will make that sound awesome, but don't put the whole thing there. Mm-hmm. They'll be angry at you.
Yeah. Yep.
And I kind of learned that the bad way, but
Yeah. Do you have a story about that?
I had the brass quintet that was performed at my recital. It was the revised version, but before then, trumpets playing high sounds so awesome.
Yeah,
like it always does.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working almost exclusively with computers, it'll sound really awesome on a computer, and you won't realize that, hey, like they need time to have blood go back into their lips. Mm-hmm. So I had the faculty brass quintet at UCO read through my piece, and they played it because they're faculty and they're really good at what they do. But they were like, hey, like this entire chunk right here needs to be an octave down.
Or totally ruin the vibe you were going for on that section and that piece.
I made it work. And it sounds better that way. One, because they're able to do the rest of the stuff later. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, it's just realizing like, oh, there's this thing called tessitura, which just means like where people are around that space and what that sounds like. And so if the tessitura is super high, then it's really exhausting.
Yeah.
But maybe less exhausting for a piccolo,
Mm-hmm.
but much more exhausting for a trumpet.
That makes sense. That's a concept that I'd heard about, but I haven't really
Yeah.
seen
And
a lot
then the
of
same is like
examples.
tessitura for voice.
Mhm.
Like pop punk music
Mhm.
sounds really good on a high tenor voice,
Mhm.
but it's also really exhausting
Yeah.
on a high tenor voice.
Mhm.
And so singing all the way up there all the time can get pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
And the like people like I'm blanking on his name now. I'm doing the blanking of the
Got a
names.
band?
I mean Panic at the Disco.
Oh no, I don't even
Yeah.
know what his name is.
But he freaking like sings up there all the time, and it's great because he has worked on it.
Oh, Panic is Brandon Urie.
Brendan Urie.
Brandon Urie.
Yeah.
Brendan Urie. Yeah. So I'm thinking of the other one. That's
Patrick Stump.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Same thing. I know that all of the Brendan Urie fans or Patrick Stump fans are going to be like, no, they're not the same thing. But just take a moment.
They were the same thing.
Just take a moment, slow down, listen to a Panic at the Disco song, and then listen to a Fall Out Boy song, and tell me that they're not the same thing.
The early ones, yeah. And then Patrick Stump got like R&B chops.
Yeah.
And then
Brendan Urie got like pop chops.
Brendan Urie just got range, and his just kept cranking up the range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's vocal tessitura.
Yeah.
And while it's impressive to sing that high all the time, drink water. That'll help
A bit.
So I mean, and that's more from my vocal side, but like, yeah, a big part of composition is just learning how to write for people rather than just writing stuff at all. Another neat thing that I learned when I did a string quartet, double stops on violin, easier whenever they're on alternating fingers rather than, because if you do fifths right next to each other, because the strings are arranged in fifths, then they have to kind of like fat finger the thing.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird on
it's not as easy as it is
a
on
violin
guitar.
or so it's like maybe do fourths or thirds because that's a lot easier to do.
Sixths or something.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not bad. They can do it. It'll just like, you'll get a different sound. So, I mean, little considerations like that you learn along the way.
Actually reminded me of one time I ran into this. It was like one of the first things I ever did. It was for my production audition for ACM. I did 3 covers with GarageBand on my iPod Touch.
Wow.
I did not own a computer, and I still really like what came out of that.
That's impressive.
But there was one thing where I'm using like all virtual instruments, and I could record guitar, but I didn't own a bass, and I was doing a cover of "Put Your Lights On" by Carlos Santana.
Nice.
And I'd written out this bass line for there's a bridge section that gets really heavy, and I was like, it should be even heavier. So I did it heavier. And I wrote out this bass line. There's no 5-string bass in like the virtual instruments of GarageBand 7 years ago.
Oh.
So I had this 4-string bass virtual instrument, and I was like, I can't play the part. So I just took the bass line up a fifth, and it was so heavy. Because now I had like the guitar line. It almost was like, you familiar with like the Weezer power chord?
What's the Weezer power chord?
So you put the fourth as the lowest note, or sorry, you put the fifth as the lowest note. So it's Fifth, root, fifth, and sometimes another root on top of that. So it's kind of like that, but moved down.
Yeah.
It's like the guitar was all like lower few frets on the low E string, and then the bass was playing the fifth below that, and it just made this crazy. So you basically imply the root that isn't there, you know, but it kind of makes you feel like there's this other low note that's just basically been like high past the fundamental.
That's something that I kind of miss whenever I was an idiot.
It's doing things on accident.
That are really cool. Because so on the way here, I was playing my ambient album.
Yes.
That I haven't released yet.
Bloom. Is that? I'm not supposed to say that?
Yeah, you can say that, I guess.
It's a cool title, and it makes a lot of sense for what the music sounds like.
But I've been listening to it off and on for years now. And as I've learned more, listening back to this music that I wrote like 5 to 6 years ago, I'm like, how did I know to do this thing that I didn't actually know how to do?
Yeah.
And it's super cool because I can't write that anymore. I can't write like that anymore.
That's why I've been doing this improv jam that a local band called the Indigos hosts on Tuesday night, which is not happening tonight because I'm doing this instead.
That's okay. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm having a good time. But I found that I can do that thing if I'm improvising on stage with other musicians. Things can just like I do all kinds of things where like if I listen back to it, I'm like, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And it worked in a way where if I sit down and analyze it like I'm analyzing another piece of music, makes sense, but it's not an approach I would ever take in writing. So
right. Well, kind of what we were talking about on the Off-Brand podcast, that like Jack would give you stuff that you'd be like, this doesn't make sense, but it does.
Yeah. Like you can analyze it from a theory composition sort of perspective and come up with a analysis that makes sense and is consistent, but it's not something that somebody with a medium amount of music education would come up with. You have to either have no education or lots of it.
Right. Yeah.
To come up with it.
Right. And it's like, I would break rules like of my own rules that I have now back then, that even whenever I listen back to it, I'm like, this is fine, actually. One of the songs on the ambient album essentially doesn't have a bass line. The bass line is just a drone that kind of like sort of re-hits every once in a while. And which is weird because they are chord changes. And I was like, why did I not have a bass line? I don't know. But it's like, I wouldn't do that now. But it's like, I was just like, I like this sound. I'm going to keep that there. Do everything else. And just never went back to it.
And that's a composition technique that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But you would have to learn it.
Yeah.
You know, like pedal tones are a thing you have to. You learn, and you probably learn it in the context of like, you know, certain eras of classical music when that was really popular.
Very much choiry, churchy things at the very end.
Or metal.
Or metal, sure.
Pedal tones are everything. Like whatever your lowest note is, you just assume that every second or third note is going to be that one.
Yeah. Because it sounds like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is that a fun composition method that I really enjoyed is that I would sort of go back and forth between, like during my masters, I would go back and forth between very structured and sort of like, I'm doing this, there are rules, this goes this way, and that's how the music will sort of happen. And then with other pieces, I was just like, I'm tired of rules. I'm going to just fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what's happening here? Like, I could look at it and go, oh, here's the thing. But it's, no, I was just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's the nice part too. That if you do want to compose, just like, don't get so bogged down in the stuff that you should do. Just kind of like, tap into that childlike wonder.
I mean, that's part of the way. Another reason for me to not go try to get a comp degree is like, as soon as anybody tells me to write like a super counterpoint heavy, like Baroque fugue, I would just be like, no, I can't. Like I live on there are no rules. I find myself limited by habits, and improv kind of cures me of that to some extent.
Yeah.
If I'm playing with musicians I don't usually play with. But yeah, I've got different limitations on the fact that I don't, the list of like theory ideas that I actually deeply understand and am fluent in are relatively small compared to somebody who's done, 6 years of schooling in music.
Right.
But I don't really have a problem of being bogged down with rules when I'm writing. But
it's weird because throughout my education, people would keep saying like, oh, like, don't worry about the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It was really only like in one class that I took, which was counterpoint over the summer, which I don't know how I got through that class. Like waking up early in the summer to go do counterpoint just sounds awful. I don't know why I did that to myself.
Yeah.
But I took a counterpoint class, and I'm glad I did. It's an interesting skill to have. But man, those rules are really annoying.
Yeah. Just a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it'd be fun to like try to learn how to do that, because that is one thing that I will do is like, if I'm in a creative rut, I'll put a limitation on. It's a common like creative tool. It's like, what's the thing I do a lot? Usually if I'm in a creative rut, it's not because I can't come up with things. It's because I keep coming up with the same things.
Yeah.
So you just go, whatever that thing is, not allowed.
Yeah.
And sometimes something interesting will come out of that, or I have a concept that I am aware of, but I'm not really fluent in. Well, I have to write something with that now.
Yeah.
Like there's a riff that I wrote when I was first really trying to get fluent in on-time signatures. Yeah. That is still one of my favorite things I've ever written. And I've been dying to find a way to incorporate it into an actual song for like 4 or 5 years. But,
what's the time signature?
7. It's,
right.
I mean, it's not anything too crazy, but it's not a
7/8, 7/4.
It's 7. It says 7. I don't know. I get this is one of those things that I skipped,
right,
because I'm not usually writing things on a staff, and there are differences. But like, okay, so there's differences in like how you subdivide it, and I guess in that case, I would call it a very busy 7/4.
Sure.
There's a lot of notes, but it doesn't go dot 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 dot. Like it doesn't. It doesn't have that kind of a pulse to it.
Yeah,
so I guess I would call it 7/4.
Yeah. I'm pretty rhythm minded.
Me too.
And so I actually subdivide 7/8 as just 7. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. But it's like what gets the big beat.
Yeah.
And so I do remember that I for one of the power cycle things that we did, I think it was actually the last power cycle concert that we had. It was just this like big everybody's improvising sort of thing with just like a background track for everyone to follow along with, and I just like had the chords, but it was in 7/4. And so people got so confused, but I was like, guys, it's just 7. Just count to 7. But to me, it like,
but
just
you're
count
busy
to 7.
playing. Like I don't count to 4 consciously in my mind.
Right.
You know, I can feel 4 and 3 and 6 and 5, and now I can feel 7 pretty damn comfortably. But now I'm like trying to figure out.
Right. It took me a while to understand that not everyone thinks that way, and I was just like, just 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's probably a little mean.
I mean, it maybe is a little mean to just be like, it's kind of like telling a poor person, just have more money, just count to 7.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
It's like,
so I can't just.
Why am I counting to 7?
Internalize 7.
Yeah,
kind of can now, but I totally get that though. Like,
yeah,
that's why I was like, I'm gonna write a thing in 7. Like, I'm a huge fan of Rush, and one of my favorite things about Rush is that they will use all kinds of time signatures, and you won't notice. Like, if you're not counting, it all just grooves, and it's because they use a lot of these. There's a word for it. It's like that.
Clave,
yes. Like they'll use a clave and they'll bury it. Right, so the music is happening around it, and then sometimes the clave just leaves entirely, and you don't hear it. But they're still playing around it, but they're just so comfortable with it. It doesn't feel like 7 doesn't feel like you ripped an eighth note out of a bar 4/4. You know, that is a pet peeve of mine. Whenever, like, if your 7/8 feels like you just forgot to play a note in 4/4, then I don't like it. But
right. Well, I mean, I don't think it's 7, but Black Dog.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that it's in 7 unless you sat down to figure out why is this so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that they just kind of did the riff and didn't notice that it was weird.
And so it doesn't feel so weird when they play it.
Poor freaking John Bonham had to just like...
He was like, I'm just going to play 4.
Oh, God. Like...
I'm never sure if John Bonham is a genius or kind of like an idiot savant when it comes to rhythm. Now,
are all drummers
I've learned
idiots or just geniuses?
Now we're doing a Led Zeppelin show at School of Rock, and I have learned emphatically that John Bonham is a genius. But for years, I was like, Led Zeppelin, they're always doing things in 7 and 9 and whatever. And John Bonham's just rocking it in 4/4. It's like, I'm going to wait till they play this thing 4 times, then I'm going to hit a cymbal.
It'll come right back around eventually. Right. But like, and also Tool is one of my favorite bands. And they do the same thing. It's like, what meter are we in? It doesn't matter. Listen to the riff.
Tool.
It'll flow.
Yeah. Tool taught me a different way of approaching on time signatures, which is like, there's just a pulse.
Yeah.
And you can play around the pulse. You can play on beats and off beats. That's it. There's no, I mean, there is a meter because eventually you're going to repeat something.
Right.
And at some point, some nerd is going to go back and try to count it.
Yeah.
But you're not really writing that way. You know, you don't have a chart that's 12 pages long that has 1,000 time signatures.
And I don't think that they write that way.
Exactly.
Either.
I don't think they do. There's a pulse and you play around it. And who cares if it's
right. Well, I don't know. Maybe Danny Carey does.
I think Danny Carey probably has to.
Yeah.
And there's enough stuff like that he plays where there's no other way.
He is a genius.
Yeah, he is an actual genius.
But yeah, sort of the like polyrhythms with like, here's a 7 on top of 4 on top of 6. And, you know, guitar's doing this, bass is doing this, and drums are doing this. And it locks in somehow.
The song Rosetta Stoned is just a masterclass in polyrhythm.
Yeah. I think just Lateralis is probably their magnum opus. I
think as a band, you're probably right.
Right.
I think, I don't know. Hardcore fans don't like 10,000 Days as much, but I think Wings for Maria is Maynard's magnum opus. But Lateralis is the band's magnum opus. But we'll see, because there's a new record on August 30th. Or something.
They put a number on it?
Something is going to happen on August 30th. They have put out a number. They haven't explicitly said what's going to happen on that date, but everyone's assuming it's an album. It may be a single. It may be
they announce another
confetti,
tour.
You know? Well, they're on tour, and that's when they announced it. It's like at the end of every show on this tour, it's just on the screen, August 30th.
Okay, yeah.
And we're all assuming it's an album because we all know the album's done. Because Maynard has never said the album is done. Everyone else has given out a million different BS release. Sorry, I can go on this for the next hour, and we have just hit 60 minutes.
No, that's fine. I don't like hitting exactly an hour.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how long you want this to go. We're miles from our original topic.
Oh, yeah. That's the point.
Okay.
Were you at ACM whenever Maynard was there?
I had to work. And I was not quite as big of a Tool fan.
Sure.
So I had just really discovered Tool as a band that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out the Maynard was going to do a thing. I freaked out. I was so excited. And I just, like, I got off work and I got there like 5 minutes after they stopped letting people in. And then I think something about that experience made me really get into Tool.
Yeah.
Just the disappointment of it. And it's one of my greatest disappointments. And I have very few regrets. And not just skipping work to go to that masterclass.
Yeah.
Like, I tell myself every time I think about it, which hasn't been for a while. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
No, I tell myself all the time that, like, man, I should have just ditched. Like, it was.
I mean, one, his gaze. So, like, I asked him a question, and his eyes just like pierce into you, which is like beautiful and terrifying.
What did you ask him?
How
they never televised it or released it in any way, so I have no idea what
I
happened.
asked him, like, how do you make everything so complex? Like, it seems like there's a whole lot of thought that goes into everything that you do. And he was like, well, yeah, sometimes, but also sometimes there's not. Like, he said the package was like written and recorded in like a week.
That's
A Perfect Circle.
Perfect Circle, yeah.
Yeah. And the package is one of my favorite Perfect Circle songs. And it's like, oh, yeah. It's not that complicated, but it's really fucking good.
Really good, yeah. I absolutely love Pussifer.
Yeah.
Pussifer is
It's strange,
so good.
cool stuff.
Oh, man. There's weird textures. There's one drum sound that's on everything, and I can't figure out what it is, and I love it. And some of it gets real. It's kind of it's very a lot of polyrhythms, but it's like relatively straightforward polyrhythms in a way that I like can groove to it.
Yeah. No, I do enjoy whenever there is a like weird clave. And so it's like, well, you don't have to think about the meter. Here's just a clave, and that's what it is now. Like in Man Overboard.
Is that a Perfect Circle?
It's a Pussifer song.
What record?
Conditions of My Parole.
Well, in that case, I know I'd recognize it if I heard it.
Right. Brace yourself. All hands on deck.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome back to Maynard Cast. But
yeah, no, okay, yeah. No.
the drum beat in that song is just like doesn't make sense if you count it, but it feels right.
Feels real good. Yeah. He's good at that. He's good at that in a way, like, for some Tool, you kind of have to sit in it for a while before you can just kind of groove to it. But everything Maynard does as Pussifer is groovy. Is
Yeah. Anyways, what's something that you're listening to, watching, and or playing that you want people to know about?
Oh man. There's actually not an awful lot going on right now. Every project that I'm a part of is kind of in a incubational sort of state at the moment. So there's a lot of things that I think will be happening. There's a lot of stuff.
Just stuff that you like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a plug your shit kind
of. Oh, no. Just stuff that you're listening to.
Oh man.
Playing, I meant in the vein of video games, if you play video games.
So there's a band I'm really into right now that's just about to maybe crack into like my top 10, which is Caligula's Horse. It's
That sounds intense.
it's a prog rock band.
Of course.
Prog metal, but not like crazy.
Right.
It's so good. Their most recent record has a song on it that's really just a spoken word piece that's like 6 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. So that's my most recent musical obsession.
Yeah.
And then I've been binging Black Mirror like there's no tomorrow.
It'll fuck you up.
It will, man. They really got me a few days ago because I watched like 4 episodes in a row, and two of them were like relatively pleasant. Like things turned out okay. It wasn't like playing on any of my deepest, darkest fears as a millennial, which is what I feel like that whole show is basically supposed to be. And then there were 2 in a row that were like and I can't even remember what they were, but I remember how I felt about it.
Yeah.
And there were 2 in a row where when I was done, I was like, like I needed to get out of the house and see some sunshine and hang out with people that were real.
Yeah. Let's think. Have you watched San Junipero yet?
So for some reason, Netflix is playing the episodes all out of order, and I can't figure out why. I guess
that's fine.
Well, it keeps playing new episodes when I'm trying to go through them chronologically. And sometimes it'll play like 2 old ones in a row, like I want it to, and usually I have to like, which one is San Junipero? Oh, yes.
Okay.
I liked that one.
Yes.
That was pleasant. That was nice.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that when you're watching through Black Mirror and you're just slogging through just like fucking pigs and like, you know, married couples killing each other and just like everything that's just the worst. And then it's just like, here's a nice little beautiful lesbian relationship that goes into the afterlife. Isn't that nice?
Virtual digital afterlife. Yeah.
And it's like, oh. And then just right back into the thick of it. It's just the worst.
The whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, because there's really just a few key pieces of technology that you see develop because all the episodes take place in the same universe, but at different times.
Sure.
And you can kind of see it at all these different stages of development. You can see like how wrong it can go. And so this whole episode, I'm sitting here like, this is going to get horrifying real soon.
Yeah.
You've seen this same technology used in really terrible ways and it doesn't. But they keep you going until like the last possible, because sometimes everything's fine until like the last 2 minutes of an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And you never know.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I think the beautiful thing about it too is that there aren't answers. That like you'll get to the end of an episode and be like, but what happened?
Yeah. Sometimes there are questions that are posed at the beginning that are answered at some point in the episode, but no, nothing is ever. I mean, that's almost something that I haven't really noticed, only because I feel like I really appreciate any content that is just like exploring a concept and exploring an idea, and I don't usually feel like I need a resolution. So that's why I like reading Stephen King, because he's really good at that, and he's really bad at ending things. And a lot of the endings to his book, because he feels personally like he has to like wrap things up, are jarring. Put a bow on it. Done.
Yeah. I haven't personally read any Stephen King, but I've seen a lot of the media, and this might be controversial to say, Stephen King might be the greatest novelist that has ever lived.
That is not controversial.
Yeah.
It's not inarguable.
Or even just the greatest writer that's ever lived. That might be a bigger stretch.
Are you saying this as a person who's never read a Stephen King book?
Yeah.
You should probably read a Stephen King book.
Right.
You should probably read many of them and read. So before you read a Stephen King book, read On Writing, which is a book that he wrote about writing. Yeah. Because that was the first Stephen King book I ever read. And it really had a really interesting impact on the reading of his books.
Yeah.
And I would recommend it. I don't know. Maybe there's some value in reading them and then reading On Writing and then reading them again. I don't know. but I really enjoyed my experience. So,
Well, I've seen a number of things that he has written. Less of the horror things because I'm a giant wimp. But like the way by which he creates characters, resolves stories, has the beats happen in the ways that he does is spotless.
His approach is that he creates a character or a cast of characters basically, and he fleshes those characters out as much as he possibly can in terms of their personality or not even their personality. He basically just he gives them a background basically.
Yeah.
This is the person, this is their background, and then here's the setting, person, background, setting, and then he just kind of lets it go.
Yeah.
You know, and so every action a character ever makes feels honest, you know, because he's not trying to get to a point. Also why he's really by his own admission, he's really bad at ending books.
Sure.
He kind of like writes until he feels like he said everything he needs to say. And then it either just hard stop, book is over, or like when he does try to put a bow on it, it's kind of like jarring.
Sure. I mean, the best example, at least, is Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. It had a whole, like, everything gets to here, and this is that, and it's great, and cool. Like, I think Shawshank Redemption, he had to end that way.
Yeah. Well, Shawshank Redemption is a short story that was adapted into a feature length, and his short stories tend to end more concisely.
Sure.
Like Carrie does end very well, but it started as a short story and then he expanded it. So he does really well with that. But like the ending of it is jarring for a million different reasons.
I haven't seen it. But
yeah. The ending of
did you ever see 11/22/63?
No, but I want to. I haven't read it either.
Or
did that ever come out as a book?
It's a really big ass book. But it is a Hulu series starring James Franco.
What?
Yes.
I have Hulu.
Yeah.
I have Hulu.
Yeah.
Why did I not know this was a thing?
Yeah. And it's really freaking good.
Okay. Almost done with Black Mirror, so
yeah.
It's on my list.
Right. I'll say the things that I've been listening to / watching. I recently discovered this thing called Music Map. I don't know if you ever used that website.
I think so.
It's just like a little cloud thing that like you type in the band that you like, and it just sort of puts other band names around it, and the ones that are closer to it are more similar, and the ones that are closer to each other are also more similar. And I just kind of like went through the Music Map and kind of picked names that I had either kind of heard of or not heard of at all, and started listening to them.
Yeah.
So Dalek is one of them. They started in the 90s. It's a rap and producer duo.
Is it a Doctor Who reference?
I guess so. But they started in the 90s, and so that first EP sounds like the 90s, but it's way more experimental than you would expect from the 90s. As far as rap goes.
Yep.
Another one is White Boy Scream. It's this woman named Michaela Tobin, and she is a classically trained operatic soprano, and she makes noise combined with her voice.
Cool.
So I don't know if you've ever listened to any harsh noise, such as Merzbow.
I mean, I've heard harsh noises.
Sure. But music or what is classified as music, lots of people would not classify it as music.
What was the last band you mentioned?
Merzbow.
Merzbow? I've heard of
Merzbow's a Japanese composer, makes a bunch of noise.
There's a band I'm aware of called Burzum, which is just backwards that name.
Oh.
But they're like it's like a guy who was in a Swedish black metal band and then went to prison for burning churches and murdering one of his bandmates, and then made an album in prison.
There's
Burzum.
Oh man, they let him have.
He made it on a Casio keyboard.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, they let him have instruments there.
But anyway,
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just that like once you get beyond the pale of music, and like, oh, cool. Here's like Baroque music and classical music, and here's rock music, and here's pop music, and like. There's just the dark underbelly of things, which I'm really interested in at this point. And so, very experimental music is really interesting right now. So White Boy Scream, she does a lot of effects with her voice. And so some sections of a song might have just like this very pretty sort of like choral sounding thing. And then she'll do a feedback loop and and it'll just like be gritty and distorted and noisy. It's really freaking cool. And some of the songs are like 13 minutes long and like 8 of those minutes are just which is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Arca is another one. He or she, maybe they. I think they are non-binary at this point. But when they started, it was he. So, Arca is a Venezuelan producer, who kind of started making hip hop or electronic beats, but then went on to work with Bjork. So. That's kind of that progression. Also, I'm still jamming to Bjork. Bjork is great. That is the experimental underbelly that never really. I will never give up on, because Bjork actually got remotely popular for being however experimental she actually is. And I've been meaning to listen to Blackie. Which is another rapper that does experimental noise stuff, akin to clipping and death grips. If you've
I've heard of both of those things.
Right. But yeah, I feel kind of weird recommending like harsh, noisy stuff to people because it's like, oh yeah, like Santiago like makes music and stuff. And it's like kind of, rock pop sounding stuff, and it's I'm sending you in some dark places, so just fair warning. Death Grips is not like
Well, rumor has it there's a tremendous amount of music that Santiago has to put out that has not yet seen the light of day.
So yeah, a lot of the music I am performing nowadays is like 6 to 7 years old, and I still like it, but
gotta write new shit.
Yeah.
Or release new shit so you can play it live.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been talking about random other stuff for a while, so now plug your stuff.
Well, once again, not a lot going on currently. I don't know that I have any. There might be a Dr. Pants show later this month, but Dr. Pants, this band that I'm in, nerd rock stuff. A lot of fun. Off-brand is the another band that I'm in. Play guitar in that one, and I do all of our production stuff and whatnot. We're writing and stuff right now. I don't think we have any shows coming up. And then I used to be in a band called Pluto Rest in Peace that is finally officially done, and I'm working on some other stuff where I'm going to retool some of those songs into some different stuff and write some stuff. But that could become a thing anywhere between 3 months from now and a decade. So I'm not in any hurry.
Keep an eye out.
keep an eye out. You can find me on Instagram at not that Mac.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, I have a show on July 19th. 19th? 16th. Dang it. It's a Friday. 19th. I guess my memory is dyslexic. But I will be playing at the Patriarch in Edmond at 8 p.m. It's a 2-hour set list. So I'll be doing like, hey, here's like, you know, my music that I've done and a lot of covers, but then also like some of the weirder stuff because I have the time to fill it with weirder stuff.
Is that just you acoustic?
Yep.
It's usually the
well, not acoustic. It's me with my laptop and Launchpad.
But
it's guitar.
It's not a band.
No, it's not a band. Okay. It is Santiago Ramones, but it's not the usual Santiago Ramones lately.
Yeah. I did forget to plug one thing that is actually about to. I have a podcast.
Wow.
It's called Steal These Records. Me and a friend of mine, we basically give each other a record. We go back and we listen to it, and then we come back and we talk about it. The idea is that you shouldn't steal music. But if you were going to steal music, this would be the music to steal.
Oh, yeah.
So I just forgot to mention that we haven't done anything in a while, but we're about to start doing that again. So
sweet.
Listen to the last like 3 episodes. Don't listen to anything before that. It's terrible. And then subscribe because you'll get some more soon. So I just wanted to mention that because
who's that with?
Braden is his name.
Okay.
If you hang out on my Facebook page long enough, you'll probably get in a fight with him about something.
Yeah, sweet. Lots of podcasts, lots of stuff going on. I guess there's also like, since this goes up on Thursday, I will be at Tokyo and Tulsa this weekend. So you can go see the skit that Solstice Cosplay has been working on for Tokyo and Tulsa. I will be very sweaty. For reasons that will be very clear once you see that skit. And if you don't go to my show on July 19th, you should go to Dustin Ragland's show on July 19th at 6:30 at Commonplace Books. He's doing a poetry/music show, which I don't know if he wants me to give this away, but he's kind of already like kind of shared that it's poetry. I can't tell if I should say this.
You can always say it and then shoot Dustin a message real quick. Like, hey, is this okay? And then if you're not allowed to say it, it'll just be like,
yeah, maybe. Well, there's a point in the Brothers Karamazov that a character talks about poems that he wrote, but never actually, like the book never actually showed the poems. And so Dustin wrote those poems.
Whoa.
And then put music to it because Dustin is a fucking genius.
Dustin's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Dustin's crazy.
Yeah. So like you should go see that. And then since I'll be playing for like 2 hours, you'll be able to catch me in Edmond later if you want to go to that. But yeah.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah. So that go to those things. Yeah. I'm Santiago Ramones.
And I'm Mac.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I will continue to plug my Machinations episode because it is everything that came to fruition for the past 2 years of my master's degree. And since I've been talking about that music a lot this whole episode, I should probably direct you to that, because there's a whole experience in place. So if you go to santiagoramones.com/podcast/machinations, it'll take you right to it. I made it real easy for you. And if you just have like, it's less than the length of a movie. So if you want to do that, it's some pretty neat stuff, because it's like a lot of stuff has lyrics, and following along with the lyrics makes it even cooler. There's a lot of deep philosophy. And since you've been watching Black Mirror and we talked about Black Mirror, it's sort of, Machinations is like Black Mirror, but with music.
Okay.
I'm exploring ideas and technology and the future with music.
Okay.
I'm not just making that an ad to you, but to everyone else. And you can download my demo, Songs with Words. Like I mentioned, my ambient album that will be indefinitely, it'll come out at some point. That'll be coming out in the future. That'll be come out. I can grammar. And leave reviews for the podcast for all the places that you can find it. I always end my podcast with my 3 things they shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.